Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Teresa. This is Lost My Thread. Today I'm going to be talking to you about my experience of making the Jude Jeans by Closet Core Patterns. So this video is primarily a pattern review. I'm going to be going through a series of questions that I have written out that help me to make sure that I cover all the things that I want to talk about with this pattern. But I'm also then going to be crossing off one of my 23 for 2023 goals. If you saw my sewing resolutions video, you probably know about this list, but if you didn't, I'll put a link to it if you want to check it out. I set out 23 things that I wanted to do in 2023. They are mostly not sewing related, but a few of them are, and this one is, and sewing this garment up allowed me to cross one of those off my list. So you'll have to watch through towards the end if you want to see which that was. And then at the very end, I will do a little mini fashion show. So I will show you some different me-made garments that I have been able to pair with this pattern. I think this is going to be a very versatile piece in my wardrobe, and it'll be fun to show you things that I think work well with them. The first thing I want to talk about is what drew me to this pattern. So why did I decide to make these up? The Jude Jeans by Closet Core Patterns are a very recent release. They came out just 1 week ago today, but as soon as I saw them, I wanted them immediately. I purchased the pattern the same day. I ordered fabric the same day, and I could not wait to get these sewn up and on my body. I was really excited because these are a stretch jean, so they're made with stretch denim, so I knew they were going to be really comfortable. They are a fitted jean from the waist to the hip down to the knee, and then they flare out from there. So there are two views. View A is more of what I would say is like a classic jean style, so it's got classic jeans pockets, including the little fifth pocket. It also is then flared out from the knee in more what I would call like a boot cut or like a 90s flared style jean. View B was really what drew me to this pattern though. It was where it was at for these. So View B has more of a classic 70s patch pocket on the front, which I think is a super cute detail. It is ultra high-waisted. They call ultra high-waisted. So View A is a mid-rise, which is what the ginger jeans come in. The View B is a full proper high-rise jean, but it also has a massive flared, what I would say proper bell-bottom style at the bottom. I will say, you know, I was a teenager in the 90s. I was wearing the boot cut jeans. I was wearing the flare jeans. I was adding inserts into the bottom of my jeans to make them a bit wider at the bottom. But I could not, for love nor money, find proper bell bottoms, which was absolutely what I wanted. I feel like making these trousers up are like total wish fulfillment for my teenage self. And as soon as I saw them, I was so excited to make them up. As a bonus, I have already made the ginger jeans by Closet Core Patterns, and they have said that these jeans are based on the same block. So if those ones fit you or you know adjustments you need to make for that pattern, you can make these with similar adjustments and they should fit you pretty well. Now I did actually increase the rise on my ginger jeans from mid-rise to more of a high rise, but these are a higher rise, and so I knew it was going to be slightly different. So I decided to just stick with what my gut instinct was telling me as far as sizing, and I wanted to just get on and make them without making a muslin because honestly guys, I couldn't wait to get these on me. The fabric that I chose for this is a stretch cotton twill that I got from Minerva in this really gorgeous rust color. I was trying to find a color that felt authentic to like the 70s vibe that I was going for, and I feel like this rust is absolutely perfect. It's a bit red, it's a bit brown, it's kind of right there in the middle, and also it's a color that goes with a lot of things that are already in my wardrobe, which is always a bonus. So that was a perfect one I think for me for this project. This has 97% cotton, 3% elastane. It has a really good amount of stretch to it actually. I was surprised with how stretchy it was when it arrived. The other thing that I was really pleasantly surprised about is just the look and the feel of it. It's a really soft fabric. Sometimes cotton twills can be a bit stiff, sometimes they can be a bit shiny. This is none of those things. It's really nice and soft, it's really nice and matte. I will put a link to it down below if you want to try and find the same fabric. They have it in a whole variety of colorways. It's one of their core range fabrics, but I feel like it was a really good one for this, and it pressed really well, it sewed up really well, and I think made a really great pair of Jude jeans. As far as the sizing for this pattern comes in the full extended closet core pattern size range, so a really good size range. I will pop it up on the screen because it is just not in my brain, but I will say that it is pretty true to size. If I look at their size chart, just the size chart alone based on my waist and my hip measurement, my waist is 31 inches, which puts me at a size 12. My hip is 42 inches, which puts me at a size 14. But I know from making trousers in the past and making the ginger jeans in the past, my natural waist is quite high on my torso compared to what patterns are expecting it to be. And so what I decided to do, just to make it a little bit more clear for myself for my size, I measured my front rise measurement. So they have the rise in the finished garment measurements. When I measured the point that my size 14 would end at, that was actually around my belly button, and for me, would class that more of a mid-rise, and I wanted it higher than my belly button. Not by a huge amount, I just moved it up an extra inch, and when I measured the circumference around that area, that actually fit with the size 14 waist measurement. So I decided to just increase the rise by an inch and go with the straight 14 size. There is also a 32-inch inseam, and I'm 5'6", but just on the proportions of my body, that is too long for my legs. So I ended up taking up by 2 inches, and it is absolutely perfect for me. I really didn't want these to be too short for bell bottoms for the style of them, and I think it absolutely worked really well. They actually give you 2 cutting and shortening lines, or lengthening and shortening lines, depending on which part of the leg you need to shorten, because they are fitted to the knee, and I ended up taking an inch out of the top and an inch out of the bottom. They are perfect. Really happy with the fit that I got on the whole. The only thing that I will say is the back area, so the lower back area, top of the jeans, there is definitely a bit of space in there. It is a bit roomy. When I made these jeans, I did not make a muslin. What I did do though is I sewed up the side seams in the waistband before I attached those, just to make sure that I was definitely happy with them. But I wish that I had done a baste fit from the beginning. The back yoke is definitely quite roomy. I know that I have a bit of a concave in my lower back, so it's not unusual for me to have to take trousers in that area. I know that for my ginger jeans, so I should have done that straight off the bat before I cut these out. But it does really depend on the fabric, and this fabric is quite stretchy, and so I think there's just even more room there than there typically would be for me. I did end up unpicking my top stitching and my stitching for the back yoke to bring that in a little bit, just an inch at the top, but I feel like I could have definitely done with bringing the whole back yoke and even the top of the trouser before the back yoke starts to make it a little bit more fitted in that area. I will do that in future versions, but more importantly, guys, you should and I should always baste together any jeans before you do the final stitching, just to make sure that you have it how you want it, because especially with stretch fabrics, the amount of stretch is going to vary so much that you might not need to take things in quite so much on one pair, but take them in significantly on another pair. I'm not complaining, guys. These are super comfortable. They're not going to put me off wearing them, but those are the things that I would say personally I need to adjust in future versions. As far as making any other alterations or any pattern hacks, I pretty much just made it straight out of the packet, honestly. I loved how it looked. I didn't feel like it needed any adjustments for me. I could certainly play around with maybe doing some embellishment on the pockets in the future, but for now I made it as is and it's great. As far as the instructions for this pattern, I really could not fault it. I have made closet core patterns before and they are generally really clear. These ones are absolutely no exception. I feel like there are some really fantastic illustrations that go alongside the really clear, precise descriptions of what you need to do at each stage. They also have links to some online tutorials, which if you're more of like a photo depiction, if you prefer to see actual fabric being sewn, you can use those. I really do prefer the illustrations and the descriptions that they give me of how to complete each stage. I find them really clear. I do think that even if you've never sewed jeans before, this would be a great one to start with. They're stretch, which makes it a little bit easier to fit, but also they give you some really good just descriptions of how to, say, sew a bar tack, for example. I feel like they really do hold your hand with every element. I would say that they also have really great fit instructions on their website separately. So they do have like a whole jeans fitting guide if you wanted to get a little bit more information. I will say I have also taken the jeans making course by Closet Core Patterns, an online course, which I highly recommend. If you're feeling a little bit intimidated by jeans, they really do give you some great extra tips that I've taken through into all areas of my sewing. But just from this pattern alone, honestly, I would have been very happy to make these jeans, and I think I would have made them absolutely perfectly. As far as the difficulty level for this pattern, I would say it's definitely in the intermediate category. It's not advanced by any means and probably not totally beginner friendly. But if you're more like an advanced beginner and you've made a couple of advanced beginner projects, I would say this is a good one to just dip your toe in the water in the intermediate, and it may well put you into that intermediate category because I do feel like it is very approachable with the instructions that they give you, the level of detail. They even give you some really useful tips for like sewing over bulky seams, for example. So you can use those tips in future, but certainly they really do get you through this project. So I would say intermediate level or advanced beginner wanting to move into intermediate, definitely a good project. As far as the construction techniques and the general look of this garment in the end, I feel like it looks fantastic. I honestly love how it looks. I feel like it looks super professional. I would have a really hard time looking at these and trying to figure out if they were professionally made or if they were just made by a home sewist. And that is honestly both from making various pairs of jeans, but also following their instructions. The way these things are drafted, it all comes together really well. I really do love the patch pocket on the front and the patch pockets on the back. There's a nice curved yoke at the back. I mean, I obviously needed even a little bit more shaping, but it does give some shaping there. The waist is curved as well, so the waistband, so that if you're narrower at the top of the waist than at the bottom, it gives you that little bit of extra shape, which I definitely needed. You have a nice facing on the inside of the fly there, which I think looks really neat and professional. In general, I feel like if you follow their instructions, you're gonna get a really nice, neat, professional looking garment. I feel like it looks neat from the outside and from the inside. One detail that I really love is at the bottom of the hem, instead of just folding the hem up and up again, they create a facing for the hem, which I feel like works so well for this. Because this is really flared out at the bottom, if you were gonna fold it up and up again, you'd have a lot of excess fabric that wouldn't fold up very well. So there's a facing, which is just the exact same shape at the bottom here, and creates a really nice deep hem, which feels very authentic 70s to me. But it also creates this really nice finish on the inside. I feel like that looks really nice, but it also adds a little bit of extra weight, which is gonna help to pull them out. I feel like these really just want to drape around my boots or my shoes in a really cool way. The size of the bottom of this as well is just massive. It is literally like what I dreamed that I wanted when I was a teenager. The full bell-bottom style. They are so much fun to wear. They're so much fun to just move around in, feeling all that fabric swooshing around down at my ankles. It's a super cute style, and I honestly feel like I can't fault it. So I do ask myself, was there anything that I didn't like about the pattern? And honestly, I don't think that there is. Any alterations that I made, I think, are unique to my body. I don't think it's anything about the pattern. It's just things that I often have to adjust to make things fit me. I think it's a bad pattern, honestly. As far as whether or not I would make this project again, that's gotta be a yes. You may have been able to pick up that I am definitely a fan of these jeans. It was such a fun process to put together as well. I made these in a day, not including the cutting out. It was a full day and it was intense, but it was such a fun process, the whole thing making them, and they are just so much fun to wear. I definitely need multiple pairs of these in all different kinds of fabrics. Now, I did already answer this question a little bit, but if I do make these again, as far as things that I would do differently this time, for one thing, I will definitely take in that back yoke significantly and just a little bit at the top of the trouser. But more importantly, I am going to do a based fit with the actual fabric to make sure that I'm definitely happy with the fit of them, to see if I need to make any alterations before I do those final stitches. Now, because my brain is already now looking off into the future for other pairs of Jude jeans that I might want to make, I want to talk a bit about what fabrics I think would work well for these. So cotton twill, stretch cotton twill, absolutely. I would love to make them again in other stretch cotton twill. I think they would be a ton of fun in a really wild print. I was looking at some different prints, some plaids, some stripes, and thinking, ooh, those could be really over the top, but I thought, you know what? First pair, let's just go for some straight up solid trousers that I feel like I could wear with lots of other things in my wardrobe. But wouldn't it be so much fun to have a really loud print in these bell bottoms? I also have some denim. Stretch denim is definitely a great option for these. I have some dark stretch denim that I had that I was planning to make some ginger jeans out of. And now I'm wondering whether I might actually have enough fabric to make the Jude jeans, because I think these would be so much fun with some really bold, fun top stitching, playing around with different colors of top stitching threads. I have ideas whirring in my mind, and I think that may well be the next pair of Jude jeans that I make. I think these would also be great in a stretch corduroy, stretch needle cord, or even a bulky corduroy. I think they would work really well in like a stretch velveteen kind of fabric. They would be so much fun. Honestly, I feel like stretch wovens, the sky's kind of the limit. I would say you probably do want to go for like at least a bottom weight, a medium weight, or heavy weight rather than a lighter weight. But beyond that, I don't really think there's a whole lot of limits of what would work well for these. And I think all different fabrics would create such a cool and varied look. So yeah, I probably do need multiple pairs of these in my life, right guys? So I will be doing a little mini fashion show at the end of this video, showing you how these jeans fit on my body, how they look, how they pair with some different garments in my Me Made wardrobe as well. But before I do that, I want to cross off one of my 23 for 2023. So this one was actually number 18 on my list. Buy and sew up a sewing pattern within a week of it being released. So this pattern came out a week ago, and when I saw it, I knew I wanted to make it. I actually finished sewing this up a couple of days ago, but this was the time that I was able to make the video for you guys. So I get to cross that off. Now, I did want to talk a little bit about what that was like for me and why I thought that was something I wanted to try. As I said earlier, I have never sewn up a garment that quickly after it was released. In general, I will usually wait to see it on different body shapes. I will wait to see it in different fabrics. But I felt really confident this one would work well for me, and it seemed like a good one to get this goal ticked off, basically. So I thought it was really fun to kind of get swept up in my excitement, which I don't usually do, and immediately start looking for fabric, immediately buy the pattern. It definitely felt quite exciting to be really in the moment of this sewing pattern being released as soon as it came out. The fabric I had to wait for. So when I had this goal on my list, my expectation was that I would make like maybe a top or a dress maybe and use fabric from my stash, which is how I'd be able to make it up so quickly. But this one just drew me in, you know? I didn't have any real expectations, and I thought, well, I knew I had some days off coming up, so I knew I'd have a little bit of time to work on it, and I thought it was a good one just to go for. So when the fabric arrived, I had to obviously pre-wash it before I was able to sew, and I will say all that time really felt like, I want to get on with this project. Like in my mind, I wanted to make it straight away. And even though I made it 5 days after it was released, I still felt a little bit like, come on, like when am I going to get to make these trousers? So getting to make it up and take some photos and put it out and share it with the world within a week of it coming out, honestly was pretty fun. It's not something I want to do all the time because I do think usually there is a lot of benefit of seeing other people's versions before I decide to make things for myself. But it was a fun thing to do, and I may well do it again in the future. I might not do it in the future, but it was a little bit of a different take and a different way for me to approach my sewing, and I had fun with it. Whenever I make up a garment, especially separates, I always like to do a little bit of playing around with different things that are in my wardrobe to see what I can mix and match with it. It's really nice for me and satisfying if I can make garments that are part of a more cohesive wardrobe that I think go well with other things that I'm already wearing. So I did a little bit of footage. I had some fun trying on some different tops, different looks to go with these trousers, and I hope you guys have fun seeing how versatile I think this pattern is. let me know what you think of my Jude jeans. I really do love them. I know the style is not for everyone, but if you are also someone who is interested in that fun 70s look, I highly recommend making these trousers. If you are someone who was around in the 70s, did I nail it with the fabric? Do you think that they look authentic in your eyes? I know I had fun one way or another, and I would love to hear what you guys think about this pattern. It would be really nice to hear if you are also interested in making these. What kind of fabric are you thinking about using? Like I said, I feel like really the sky is the limit with stretch wovens for these, and I'm really looking forward to watching that hashtag grow. I feel like there is so much potential for these, and I'm really looking forward to having more in my wardrobe. If you enjoyed this video today, please do give me a like, leave me any comments down below about anything you thought about my review, about my experience of sewing a pattern up in a week, or my little fashion show showing you how I can style this in my wardrobe. Please do make sure you're subscribed to my channel if you want to see future videos, and I will see you guys soon. Bye!